what's going on with Site C is they want to create another dam to flood the rest of the valley here. Now, we have put forward options to the creation or the destruction of this valley. They don't have to destroy this valley in order to create that energy. They can do it way more environmentally friendly, way more sustainable than flooding. This is the last piece of functional Peace River Valley that we have left. Now, they argue that, well, we've already got 2 dams on the river. We might as well put a third on because, there's not much left of it. We argue that, well, because those other 2 dams, that doesn't make this valley less important. It makes it more important because everything is concentrated here now, and that they should be looking, when presented with reasonable alternatives, and take those into consideration. Flooding this valley is not clean or green, right? Flooding this valley to produce the energy so that they can extract natural gas, which is a greenhouse producing industry, a greenhouse gas producing industry, is not clean or green. Or selling it to the Alberta tar sands so that they can power their functions over there. And the Alberta tar sands is considered to be one of the most environmentally damaging developments, industrial developments on the planet right now. And so they're proposing to destroy this valley, our home, so that they can sell power to greenhouse gas producing industries. We have 4 court cases going on right now with Site C. We have 3 provincial court cases. We have 1 federal court case. They're all in the stages of appeal right now. We lost the first go around in all of them, but it wasn't a devastating loss. If you understand how the courts work, there was a big holes in their decisions. So we want to create sustainable, long-term jobs that are responsible. Site C is not responsible. Destroying this river is not responsible. In an age where countries are taking dams down, BC's building them, and that doesn't make sense.
In the last 9 years, we the people of West Moberly have not been heard, because that's what we've been telling them for 9 years. No damn way!
When I speak of we, me as chief of the West Moberly First Nations, I am talking about my community. But in a larger context, I'm talking about everybody that's opposed to this, to the destruction of this valley. We have local residences here that are non-Aboriginal, which are the Cowboys. They are the ranchers and the farmers. And we have us, the Indians. And we've come together. We've circled our wagons. And we're fighting off the common enemy, which is BC Hydro. When you look at the national news all across Canada, there's all these discussions and news articles about how First Nations and non-Aboriginal communities are fighting and struggling. Well, here that's a different situation. We've come together. We have a common understanding of what's important and what should be respected here. And the Cowboys and Indians are working together in this one. And there'll be times when we're not working together on stuff, but on the saving of this valley, we're crystal clear that this valley is worth saving. We're not opposed to the energy. West Moberly has been very clear that we're not opposed to the creation of the energy. What we're opposed to is the destruction of this valley. There's absolutely no reason for that to happen for this. Treaty promises us the ability to bring my kids down to the river and teach them how to fish, teach them the ceremonies that go on with that, the spiritualness, the sacredness of catching that fish. You know, I teach them the ceremony. We take that fish back after we catch it, feed our family with it. The treaty doesn't promise us the right to go to Overweighty and buy a fish out of the supermarket. It teaches us that our way of life shall continue. You know, and a lot of people can't understand that, won't grasp the concept of that. We are the Dunnizar people. The indigenous people of this land are the Dunnizar, which I am. You cannot separate us from the land. It's like trying to separate the Pope from the Roman Catholic Church. It's just the one and the same, right? When you think, well, you would never consider putting a shale gas well in the middle of the Vatican, would you? You know, but this is how they treat us here. They think that we're just something to be moved off to the side, right? And we're as much a part of the ecosystem around us, the living system here, as anywhere. You know, the fish in the water, the animals that walk on the land. You know, they say the fin animals, the four-legged animals, the winged animals, and the two-legged are all part of the same system. You know, and as much as we use the land, we give back to the land. We ensure that we do not overfish the river, or we don't hunt the caribou to the point of extinction. If we start seeing that the caribou are getting stressed from activity, we move on to somewhere else, type of thing. But the way activity here is happening, we're stuck in these little concentration camps, you know, on the reserve, and we're only allowed to come out every once in a while and do things. Well, that's not what the treaty promised. The treaty promised us a way of life, and what's happening here is the destruction of that way of life. You know, systematically, project by project.